everybody. Back to what makes this photo great. We're a little behind. I got COVID New Year's Day, and recovery was, I was sick for a good 2.5 weeks, and recovery is coming slowly. I still have a cough, so if there's some choppy moments here in this video, I apologize in advance. But boy, that's a tough bug to get through. So anyway, we are going to look at the work of Joni Sternbach, but not all of her work. We're actually only going to look at one portion she calls Surfland. And this is work that she does with a 8x10 field camera and tintype. All of her pictures are shot on tin and processed that way. She makes her own tintype negatives and processes right on the beach when she's shooting. It's really magnificent. So this probably won't be a long video because we are only looking at a few pictures here of Joni Sternbach. I am absolutely a huge fan. Any of you make a lot of money in crypto and want to make me smile, buy me a Sternbach print. All right, yeah, like that's going to happen. Here we go. Take a look at this shot. Look how formal it is. Not only is it a tintype, you can see up here where the traps held the negative down. Not only is it a tintype, but look at the composition. It's almost as if the old style of production creates a old style of composition. The surfers standing in front of their boards. You'll see this back in the 30s, 40s, or I don't know even know if surfing goes back that far. Let's say back to the 50s anyway, on Waikiki, standing in front of their boards like this. She kind of harkens the past back and presents it as modern as well. I love this shot. Great shot. Woman surfer, short board. Now, and remember, these people have to stand here for quite a while because setting up an 8x10 camera, going under the dark cloth, focusing it, getting it exactly the way you want it is a time-consuming element. So there's time for the model, the subject, and the photographer to converse and figure out what they're going to do while she's setting up the camera. Isn't this spectacular? I just love this work. I'm so excited when I see work like this. Two tintypes taken right next to each other. Notice that they're two separate photos. They're not put together in Photoshop with some line down it. They're actually created two separate images. You can see the separate film traps here on each one of them. But she carefully moved the camera so that she got the front of the board here and the back of the board here. So we've got this gentleman, we've got this woman here. Look at the composition coming down and then out. Look at the big V. Do you see it? Isn't that clever? It's not only clever, it's absolutely beautiful. Look at the tonality in these prints. Just spectacular. It gives us, the viewer, a real sense of Surfland, what's going on in surfing, the people of surfing, presented in a way that's not a digital production. It's real, and so it has a bit of a different flavor. Notice I didn't say better. I'm not going down now. I'm not going to argue with people over whether digital is better than film, which is better than tintype. I don't care. Whatever you love to shoot, that's all that's important, because making photographs is the thing. So it's just a different look. Look at the totally out of focus background. The woman is perfectly in focus. The board's in focus. There's probably a good chance that Sternbach is using some tilt and shift here to get the exact focus right on the subject here that she wants to get. It's really beautifully done. Notice how the subject stands out from the back, almost in Photoshop realism or Photoshop faked realism here, but it's not. It's a tintype. There's no digital anything here. 6 women with their boards and a little bit of water. We get a little reflection going on here. We get the bright sun back there. All of her work is done under natural light. Sometimes it's heavy sun, and she is happy to have heavy sun be, bright in the highlights and shadows are dark. It's the medium of tintype that creates this look, and that's the look she wants. If there's one thing you can learn from someone like Joni Sternbach, it's that the look that you want is all that matters. That's all that matters. You don't have to make it look like someone else. You don't have to listen to people who would come in and say, oh, this side of her face is burned out. Oh, the background's too bright. Oh, this shadow's too dark. That stuff doesn't exist. That's not real. What's real is the look the photographer wants to achieve. This is a far more interesting look to me than some sort of HD captured image where all the shadows are open and all the highlights are not blown out. It's more interesting to me, as is this one. The rocks being in total focus, the longboard coming right up into the rocks here, just slipping out of focus at the tip. The surfer standing really majestically up against the sky here. Look at, that's where he cuts the horizon there. And all this texture around him. It's just an incredible photograph. Beautifully done, beautifully composed. I love it. I'm a huge fan. I think I've got 3 of her photographs that I would want to own in here. The next one is one of my favorites. This one I would love for my collection. I love this. I love the fog in the back. I like her standing tall with the board over her head. There's a shadow here on the face. It's just a really, really unique photograph. You can see the fog misting up the side of the mountain here, but she's sharp and she's contrasty and she's right where she needs to be. The composition is incredible. Here's another one that I absolutely love. Woman in a wetsuit with the board down in between these giant rocks. Surf out there. I think I know where this is, but maybe not necessarily. Magnificent photograph. Notice how the subject is just right here. Giant dark cliffs to this side, giant lit cliffs to that side, and everything in the picture draws us to her. We've got leading lines here. We've got leading lines here. It's just really amazing. Love this shot, this next shot. This is just so much fun. Surfer riding his horse to the beach. Got his board and his horse, and dead center in the picture. Very classic, old school, if you will, composition. It's the type of composition that I enjoy. Dead center. I love this very classic look to it. Just absolutely love it. Here's another shot. Surfer. The pier out of focus behind her. She's solidly in focus with the board. Just a killer shot. This shot, 2 surfers with a longboard. This holding the surfboard over the head is kind of a thematic thing that she uses, and I just think it's great. I think this horizon being above the board is super cool. And there's one more here that I just absolutely adore. This one. This one. The empty beach. The lone surfer on the beach. The sand. The water. The sky. The development materials not being even on it. It's just, I absolutely adore this photograph. Just adore it. Absolutely would give anything for a print. Now, her prints are a little bit out of my budget for collecting photography, but maybe if I win the lottery someday, I'll go and buy some. In fact, if I did win the lottery, I would go and buy some Joni Sternbach prints. I just love them. Here's Joni working on the beach with some servers with her camera. It's an 8x10 Deerdorf, same camera I shoot. And she's got a little station set up somewhere on the beach where it's like a black tent. She goes in there She develops the tintypes right there on the beach. Somebody I think you should know about is Joni Sternbach, an art photographer. Please, there's a link below to her website. Go check out her other work. It's beautiful. It's astounding. It's just gorgeous work. But I think this is the work that I absolutely adore the most. There's a link to a book that she put out called Surfland, which is a collection of her images. I own it, obviously, but as good as the book is, I still want an image someday. Still want to print. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. If you like what I'm doing here, just hit the like button, and I appreciate it. And let your friends know about it. And if you're interested in photography, I have a website called lighting-essentials.com, lighting-essentials.com, and my own website, dongiannetti.com. They're both linked down below, and a lot of information there for you. We're going to be doing a lot of content this year, already planned, except for this damn COVID thing that came up. So everything's pushed back a couple of weeks, but lots of content for serious photographers, not necessarily newbies, but the folks who've been in it for a while, who've committed to photography. I think you're going to enjoy the content. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.